Hello everyone, I'm Erica.
And I'm Akilah.
Welcome to HeartsChat. So tonight we're talking about social anxiety and its impact on relationships.
Yeah.
So before we get into our topic, we're going to do our check-in.
So Erica, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm really excited because I'm going home for Christmas.
Woo.
So I'm leaving on Friday. It's going to be a short visit, but that's all right. I'll be home for 3 days.
Okay.
I was talking to my uncle the other day, and he said, what are you doing for Christmas? Like, where are you going? I said, well, I'll be home. I said, I'm going to be home the 23rd. I'm leaving 26th. He said, oh, you'll be home for 1 day? And so I thought he was being sarcastic. I was like, yeah, well, basically, it kind of feels that way. But he thought I said the 24th. But no, it does kind of feel that way. But I have plans. I have a lot of things I'm already doing, so my time's already accounted for. And I feel like when your time's accounted for already, it's like, it's
easy.
over. Yeah.
Yeah,
Goes by
things go
quick.
fast.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to it. And again, it will be different because Ashley's not going to be home for Christmas. So again, another holiday without Ashley is kind of weird. So it's going to just be, our family that we had for Thanksgiving. But it was still a good time. So I'm still looking forward to it. Just a little different.
Awesome.
Yeah. So what about you?
Me, I live Jersey, so it's just up the highway. So, so I'll be going home. But my sister always comes down because we have a tradition at my aunt and uncle's house. Every Christmas Eve, we usually all go there. Well, it started out as when we were younger and our parents need to wrap presents, so they just drop us there. But now it's kind of like every year we've continued to go back. However, things have switched up over the past few years. Like people were missing, like my brother. And
The middle child.
Cool, interesting. But this year, everyone should be there. We have all different things that we'll be doing like during the day, but we'll get together more towards the night.
Okay, nice.
So, yeah.
Love the holidays.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we'll get into our topic, social anxiety and its impact on relationships.
Yes, this is one question from one of our listeners. Mm-hmm. And, I guess first, social anxiety, if people don't know what that is, it's when you have extreme irrational fears dealing with social interactions. So you're lots of worrying, lots of nervousness, thinking you're going to get judged, a whole laundry list of things that basically surround fear of people, talking to people, different things like that. So how does that impact relationships? That's an interesting one because I feel like by definition, the person would have trouble getting into a relationship.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking originally when we got the question, I thought intimate relationships, like,
yes.
With your partner, like a romantic relationship.
Yes, exactly.
And then I started thinking, friendships too. And it does. But speaking, we're talking about romantic, intimate relationships. I think communication. Mm-hmm. Communication is one of the most important things in relationships in general.
Exactly.
So I think it would be really difficult to communicate with somebody when you have that social anxiety, and I think vice versa too.
Yeah, because the way I'm thinking about this is if one person has social anxiety, or not even the extreme of social anxiety disorder, it's if they just don't like being around people or have difficulty engaging with people, and the other person's like bubbly, outgoing, social butterfly, like how does that work?
That's really tough because, especially when you think about the holidays, because you go to family and friends, events, different functions, and you go, when you're in a relationship, you do things, you sacrifice, for your partner, and maybe you'll go, but then you're the bubbly one, and you don't really feel that, social anxiety. You could feel bad, kind of forcing your partner out when they really don't want to be there. They're not comfortable. Mm-hmm. But then at what point is it helpful? Am I being helpful to have you out because you need to be around people? Yeah. Or am I, impeding you and just making you feel, more uncomfortable, making you feel bad?
Yeah, I think and on the flip side is it fair to the socially bubbly person? Yeah. I mean, it's, like you said, it all comes down to communication and kind of, I guess, knowing your partner. Like knowing, not to say it this way, but knowing what you're getting into.
Yeah, right.
Kind of thing. It's a difficult one because you really are at two opposite ends of the social spectrum, if you think of it in extremes. And because people in the middle can always
navigate, kind of find a way, find a happy medium.
Exactly.
I think it also has to do with if the person that has the social anxiety wants to overcome that, or if they're fine, with how things are. Because if they're fine with it, then, you might have to rethink the relationship. This is how it's going to be because they're comfortable with that. They don't want to make an effort or change. And can you, the person on the other end, accept that?
Yeah.
That's something you have to think about.
That's true. And I just want to put the disclaimer, but then when we're talking about social anxiety, that's like a very extreme form. It's not like someone who, like I was saying before, someone who will sometimes like be out and enjoying things and then other times not. It's kind of constant, and the fear, that fear takes over the person. So when you're dealing with someone with social anxiety, it's really about where they are in their process of change. If they want to change, if they're ready to change.
Right. So I think relationship is built on, in addition to some of the other things we said as far, communication, but doing things like experiences.
Yes.
How can you build and experience things and grow if you don't want to do anything, if you don't want to socialize or meet new people? Because it's very different from someone who's just a shy person.
Yes.
And maybe they have to get comfortable, warm up, get to know these people, then they'll be good. This is something that, they might always be that way. Or if they're trying, it's a constant struggle.
Exactly.
So I think that's very difficult.
I mean, I definitely think it can work. I don't think it's like lost that it won't work, but it's like you said, a lot of communication, a lot of understanding, a lot of where that person is.
Yeah, and I think it can be difficult on the person who doesn't have the social anxiety to try to like pump you up and give you these pep talks, to do things, especially because depending on your career, you might not be a professional, and even if you are a professional, you don't want to do that every day. You don't want to feel like you have a client every day. If that's your profession, So it can definitely wear on the relationship.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to get help.
And that's the part of it. If you're not willing to get help, because it's like burnout, because you're dealing, especially if you're in a relationship with like someone in the helping profession, because all day they're helping people with whatever's going on, and then to come home and kind of deal with some of the same things, it can definitely have a strain on the relationship.
Now, I was also thinking about what you said about that fear of being judged.
Yeah.
I think when you have that fear, it can harbor a lot of secrets that you might not want to talk about with your partner because you might feel that they might judge you too, like everybody else, or, you don't want to have certain conversations with them out of fear of what your partner might think.
Yeah.
Which I think will be difficult because things happen in relationships. You have to be able to be open and talk about them, and you should feel open. But if you constantly feel closed off and, to yourself, that can be detrimental, in your relationship.
Exactly. And, going back to kind of what you said about, the, well, for lack of better terms, bubbly person, trying to pump up the other person, that might or forcing them to go out, that might actually cause more damage than good, because they may not be ready for that, and then who knows what they're going to be feeling. It might push them further into depression, also part of it is like living up to the expectations of the partner. Like you want the social anxiety person with social anxiety might want to do all this stuff, but physically or can't at this point. So it can bring a lot of, anger and resentment as well into the relationship.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think that's a good point because it points out that relationships are give and take.
Yes.
It can be just one-sided and just one person's way, and only one person gets their needs met. You both have to feel like you're getting your needs met to have a healthy relationship.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. It's it's difficult. I don't know, like ultimately, it's just a difficult situation to be in because if you like I said, if you're at the extremes,
right?
If you're at the extremes, or if one person is at either extreme,
I think it's difficult to talk about because when we think about relationships, you think about dates. and going out and doing things. Like, oh, I'm going to meet their friend. They're going to meet my friends. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. You know? Yes. And so when you take that away, it's kind of like, well, that's a struggle. Yeah, what do you do? You know, we have to do this. We have to get through this issue. How are we going to do that? So I guess off of that, we can share a few tips. Yeah. Point out some highlights that we mentioned. So one thing I'll say is I do think one thing to keep in mind is a tip that it is give and take. And if you kind of feel like it's one-sided, you know, or going one way, that might be a time where you need to sit down and have a conversation about how things are going. It's always good to do like a little check-in, see how things are in your relationship, but especially before it kind of just, next thing you know, it's been 6 months, it's a year, and it kind of just got away from you and you've been unhappy, and your partner may or may not have even known about it.
Exactly.
I think that was 2, give and take and communication.
Yeah, I was going to say, that goes right into communication. And I think, you know, if you are the person with social anxiety, it might be good to seek help around it if you're ready to really approach that subject or whatever it may have occurred to have you that you've had social anxiety or how it developed. There's all resources, like we always say, online therapists, different things you can do. So I think it's very important to, if you know this about yourself, to seek some help about.
Exactly. And like Akilah said, online therapist, you can also ask your doctor too as a stepping stone. Maybe your primary care physician might be able to recommend you to a good therapist in your area that can help you with some of these issues.
Yeah. I think that was pretty good.
Okay. So if you have any questions or comments, you can always leave them below or send us an email if you have any topics that you want us to discuss, like this one. Yep. And we'll catch you next time.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to HeartsChat today, where we speak from the heart. We hope that you enjoyed our show. Catch us every Sunday and Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our YouTube channel and on our website, which is HeartsChatRadioshow.com. Be sure to follow us on our social media pages at HeartsChat Radio on Instagram and at HeartsChat on Twitter, Facebook, and Periscope.
We love to hear from you. If you have any comments or questions or topics that you want to hear about, you can email us at HeartsChat@HeartsChatRadioshow.com. And for all of your personal relationship questions, please visit my blog from ericasheart.com. Thank you for listening to HeartsChat, where we speak from the heart.